I'm at a point in my life now that I've dealt with research for so long that I actually want to exit out of doing research. I don't think I will, but I strongly desire. And the reason is that most people don't care about the research. What you'll notice is that there's so many people that are doing the thing or going into it or wanting to pretend that they are a researcher or a scholar, and they are not doing it because of the fact that they just love research. They're doing it because they're trying to get the job. They're trying to get tenure. They're trying to become some famous person. They're trying to maybe get a visa to go into a country. They're trying to do all of these. They want to impress somebody. They think that, their parents will love them more. There's all these different reasons why they get into it, and it's never about the research itself. And what you'll notice, I think, my call, my witness here is probably a reflection of what almost every serious researcher thinks about, is that most people are not in it to actually do the research. How do you know that? Why am I actually saying this? Is because to do any serious research, it requires you to forget about all of that stuff. It requires you to believe that you won't get a job. It requires you to believe that the idea is more important than the money, the prestige, the validation that you get, all of those kind of things. And it's just been so many moments where I've been let down, where things have not, if it wasn't a success and an easy success, it was very easy for somebody and it was all laid out for them, they quit. And so what happens for me, and this is what makes it so heartbreaking, is that I invest my time and effort and I don't care about that. The most important thing is I invest my heart into something, into an idea. And when it becomes a little bit difficult, or that there is a fraction of a problem, everybody bails and they go to what's easy. And, this goes from famous people to not so famous people that you've never heard of. And we've all had these experiences. Many of us could probably, I will never out anybody, but many of us in the profession can probably identify a ton of people that are like that. And you get a feeling of they're not in it to actually do the research. And for me, yeah, it's very wasteful. It's like, why are you here in the first place if you're not going to sit here and just work at things? But B, the most important thing is just absolutely heartbreaking time and time again. And I struggle with this because I don't know how to identify, it's one of these things that I'm always trying to think about. How do I prevent, I'm almost at a moment of time of just being like, "No, I just don't want to deal with it anymore." But it's challenging because I want to help. I want to do good research. I want to change the world. I want to move the needle. But to find anybody that's willing to do that, it's almost next to impossible, of people that will participate, that will get it, that will be there for the ups and downs. I have only had a few experiences that have been like that, where it has been, okay, we're a team, we're moving against the world, But for the most part, it's not that way. And it's even more extreme. I think you might be thinking like, okay, this is similar to like marriage or whatever, or dating, and there's some similarity there. But I think it's even more extreme because there's more people that are in the profession just to simply exploit and conquer and do all the same stuff that people do in the dating game. But, it's very much more pronounced. There is less rules often. And, you just come out of almost all of this stuff of like, you do the work, you put in the time, you try to be reliable, and it's not reciprocated. And I know this because it's been so many times for me where I have gotten my hopes up that I don't want to participate in any of it anymore. I'm checked out from a lot of things because I know it's just, what's the point, right? Like I've gotten to that point where it's just like, who cares? Because there's so many people that are just not serious. And I know I'm putting this out in the internet, and I know that this is really raw. And maybe it'll get me into trouble someday. But I mean, I don't know how else. I feel like and I know that I'm the weird person, right? I've committed so much money and time on this whole reciprocity project to demonstrate, to help people to do research, and it doesn't get any credit. That there is a lot of people that see it as there is just a lot to this, is what I'm saying. And it's not just within the whole dealing with the reciprocity project, it's the research game. It's like, identifying people that are willing to do good scholarship, to do good research, is that it just doesn't exist. Even the people that you think are famous, you can't use that as a good call or a good tell. You can't use people's CVs. You can't look at their resume and look at what they've done, because so much of this is just flat out often lying. You can't go by somebody's word. You can't, like, there's just so much to it that people far, near and far from me, I'm just like, I'm out. I don't know how to deal with this. And I think at this point, I've all but wanted to just check out from all of this, because the amount of non-serious people that are in it to do good research is incredible. I stumbled into it, I think, by mistake, into people that were serious early on and that did care. But at this point, I don't think that those people really exist anymore. Like, I don't think that there is more than just a couple that exist out of tens of thousands of people, probably even a lot more than that actually care about doing research, and that will be in it when it's not going well for them. That will be there, that will try to be picking other people up to make sure that they continue on to do the work where it's really brutally hard. I just don't think that those people exist. I think everybody is just motivated by trying to get ahead, success, all of that stuff that honestly gets you nowhere. Maybe they're successful on paper, but are they really? Honestly, I'm at a point where I don't care anymore. Take care and have a wonderful day.